All right. So that was Work Song by Cannonball Adderley. And like I mentioned, this bass is a little bit of a, I don't know how to say it kindly. It's not in the best shape. So it has some rattles and stuff, but hopefully, you know, with music, what you're trying to express is emotion, you know, joy, sadness, happiness, everything, you know, different. And doing it instrumentally is definitely a challenge, but every instrument you pick up makes you sound like a different person, or at least to me, it adds like a different character to my music. So, yeah, that was the illustrious Pork Chop, because it says, let's see, where is it? Somewhere it says pork on it, but actually, I don't think, oh, here it is. Let's see if you can see that down there on the bottom. Can you see that? Okay. But anyway, I think actually it used to say a different word that started with an F and ended with a K. And I took a little carving knife, because it had been carved in with a knife, and I changed the F to a P and the U to an O, just so I wouldn't offend, because sometimes I bring it to like schools and stuff, so I didn't want to offend anybody. Mexico, people love this thing. It's like, you know how you, especially in Mexico, you'll see cars that are totally cobbled together, like kind of beat up cars, but they work and they keep them going. And everybody in Mexico, like we'd perform down there at these big auditoriums, and people would kind of storm the stage afterwards to congratulate the musicians and stuff. But then I realized half the time, like half of them were going to look at the bass and marvel at it. So anyway, that was pretty funny. So let me put this bass down. I'm not leaving. And we'll do another song. Actually, I have something else I want to mention. Okay, here, returning. Oops, returning. Oh yes, there's Alice back from Baja. That was great. So, hold on, we're gonna sit for a minute. So one of the other really neat things going on in my life right now, well, Young Lions Jazz Conservatory is going strong, and we've got, you know, we have like 12 or 13 ensembles, so we had to convert over everything onto Zoom. And it was great. Gilbert came up with all these cool ideas. We all kind of had input. We had all these ideas. One of my students is this young talent named Tommy Reagan, and he's got this cute little mop of blonde hair. When I met him, he was 11. Now he's 12. And this kid can play like crazy good. He's actually playing a Joe Pass solo from this 1960s album, and it's It Could Happen to You, I think. I forget. It's kind of a medium swinger. But anyway, he learned this Joe Pass solo, which it starts out and it's just like, but out and you know, just swinging little things. And then Joe goes into this crazy double time thing where he's just like, and Tommy like nailed this thing, and it only took him a couple weeks. So he's sort of extraordinarily talented, so musically. But his dad a couple months ago reached out to me and said, hey, Tommy's in this movie that's coming out. And he was telling me about it, and I was kind of like, wow, that's neat. I had no idea what it was. It turns out it's coming out on June 5th. It's on Paramount, so it's a huge movie. And it takes place in San Diego. It's called Mighty Oak. And Tommy's actually the star of it. He's not, you know, I thought, oh, he's just going to have some kid part. But he's basically the star of it. I don't want to give the movie away, but he's sort of a reincarnation of somebody that had passed away. And he does a great job. He's just like he is in regular life, just this really nice kid, mature. He wrote most of the music. He wrote like 8 or 9 songs for it out of, I think there's probably 16 or 18 tunes. And he wrote a bunch of the material, and it's really a great movie. So I got to see it in full length, but the trailer's out. So if you look up Mighty Oak, you'll get to see the trailer for this movie. Be out June 5th, and I highly recommend it. And Tommy's just another example of, all these kids are so great. I just love teaching so much. So yeah, so his name's Tommy Reagan, R-A-G-E-N. If you look him up on YouTube or something, he's got a bunch of videos and different stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very, very, very proud of him. So pretty fun. So yeah, Steph and I watched it the other night, and we were really moved. It was a great movie. So let's see. I'm going to continue. Let's see. I have my better bass now, or I guess it's better. It's the one I usually play. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play a version of My Funny Valentine. This was I was going to play it last week, but I hurt my finger. My finger's still hurting, but it's okay. And you know, for Mother's Day, that was my one of my mom's favorite songs was My Funny Valentine. And I listened to the lyrics, and the lyrics are kind of a little funny. You know, some tunes are like super like lyrically incredibly engaging, and some of this was a little bit dated, but and my mom was very progressive, so but anyway, she loved the tune. And of course, Chet Baker did like a wonderful version of it. Yeah, Deborah Wolf, I bet you sing it. It's a great tune, right? So let me move this out of the way. I might have to cheat and look at a couple of things. Actually, let me stand. So here's My Funny Valentine. Let's see. right. There's my mom-in-law, Miss Debbie Johnson. Hi, Deb. How are you doing? So there was My Funny Valentine. One of my favorite tunes, one of my mom's absolute favorite tunes. My mom was she was like into jazz, and she loved Dave Brubeck. She turned me on to Dave Brubeck and, you know, different music like that. And my dad was more of a Tijuana Brass kind of guy, so I put on a Tijuana Brass record, and I love it. So it's like that stuff you grew up with really, really influences you. So it's wonderful. So there was My Funny Valentine. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to do a composition of mine that I did. I recorded this on one of my albums. I think it was on Evolution, and this is called Disarray. Disarray, and I did it more as like a tone poem. I was kind of searching. I'm always like into melodic, and I'm actually kind of into like simple things, like things you can really grasp and have this emotional like continuity. And you know, not all jazz has that. Some of it's pretty, you know, busy. Everybody expresses themselves in their own unique way. So it's really a cool music, because basically whoever you are, you can express yourself through that idiom. You know, and if you're kind of like a heavy metal guy or something, you don't maybe have as many options. I'll put it that way. Although there's some heavy metal guys I like. So this is called Disarray, and I did it with a sax player called Chuck Manning. Josh Nelson is on, and Josh, you know Chuck Manning very well. Wonderful player, and so we just did it as a duo. So then I took it and kind of recreated it for solo bass for opportunities like this. So also, if anybody has questions or something, feel free to ask. I certainly don't mind. If they're requests, you might get lucky, and I might be able to honor it, but some of these tunes take some effort because I have to kind of work out my arrangements, and you know, because it's solo bass, so I don't want it to just be like single notes the whole time. I want it to be kind of like engaging. You know, I think I'm not going to do Disarray yet, because one of the new tunes, speaking of maybe getting myself in trouble, I've been working on this song called Saida's Song Flute by John Coltrane, which I love, and I think I'll do that, because the last one is sort of a ballad. And so this is Saida's Song Flute, and wonderful tune off of his, I think it's not the opening track, but it's off of his Giant Steps album, which is, you know, absolutely one of the phenomenal records of all time. I think it was 1961 or something it came out, but just super, super album, and great playing, obviously, by John Coltrane and the whole band. So All right, there is John Coltrane's Saida's Song Flute. That's one of my currently work in progress tunes, but I'm super glad I did it, and it's coming together. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, as a jazz artist, you know, there's so many influences. Of course, there's the John Coltrane's and the Miles Davises, and then there's people that, you know, I can't even imagine how much like Gilbert Castellanos has influenced me, and Daniel Jackson, and you know, all the people I play with, Bob Boss, Mikon Zlatkovich, Holly Hoffman, Mike Wofford, all these people. It's great. It's like our jazz community, and you know, and even totally non-musical people inspire me. I mean, anybody that gets out there and is strong and, you know, is working to make their life better and the lives of people around them better, I have like full respect for, and that also inspires me a lot. So yeah, that was Saida's Song Flute. Beautiful. I think Saida was a cousin or something of John Coltrane. I remember reading it in a book, but I don't quite remember. So let's see. I think I'll do this other tune of mine I mentioned I was going to do earlier, and it's called Disarray. It's just a little short ballad tone poem. There's not a whole lot to it, but I like the harmonies and everything in it. It's funny, like not playing all the time, and I'm sure other musicians, I don't know, Josh Nelson, if you're still on, but you know, you can practice at home and even practice like quite a lot, and it's not the same as recording physically, especially instruments that like bass and piano and drums. It really takes some physical strength and calluses and stuff, and you know, I've been practicing keeping up on it, but it's different. I'm kind of like you know, thinking if I had to go out and do like 4 gigs in a row in the next 4 nights, I'd be like, uh-oh, you know, but I'm sure it comes right back. So anyway, here's Disarray. It's just a little tone poem for everybody. was Disarray. Disarray. And I have one more tune I think I'm going to go today. Let's see. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Oh, there's Mika. Hi, Mika. I wish I could see everybody. Well, that's what Zoom meetings are for, but the audio's not so great on Zoom. So we won't go there. So this is a Chinese folk song that probably some of you have heard me do before. And it was written by a woman named Betty Wong. She lives in San Francisco. And it was done on traditional, I don't even want to say Chinese instruments, because I think one of them was like a butterfly harp, which is actually a Japanese instrument, if I'm not incorrect. But it's totally got a cool vibe, and it's in 7/4, if any of you are counting. And it's definitely was kind of a challenge to work it up, but I recorded it a couple times in my live at the Athenaeum, and I also recorded it earlier on, I forget, one of my earlier albums. Actually, I think I recorded it 3 times. Keep doing it long enough and you get it right, okay? So here's it's called In Xinjiang Time, In Xinjiang Time. broke a sweat on that one. One of the things I really like about that song is it kind of explores different techniques on the bass. You know, all instruments have like a lot of opportunities like to do things sonically, and you know, people see you playing a bass and some people are like, wow, that's super cool. Other people are like, wow, what do you do with that? And other people are just like, I don't even know what a bass is. And so the cool thing about this, I think, is one, you have a bow, so you can do stuff with a bow. And as you saw, I kind of did like a traditional like hair on the string bow, but also I did this thing called col legno. I think it's Italian, means with wood, which that in theory is wood, although in my case it's carbon fiber. Probably gets all blurry on the screen, but so you have like options like that, which are super cool. And you know, if you're like symphonic bass player or like a really good classical player, you got like a zillion little things you can do. But then of course pizzicato, like the traditional and walking rate, and and it's just like sonically a pretty cool instrument. I mean, of course I love low notes, and of course I love low notes, but you know, it sounds good up high, and there's all these cool harmonics. I don't know if Justin Grinnell's still on here, but he's a great bass player. If he was here, he could probably show you some things. Okay, so there's just like a few of the techniques you can do and everything, so that's pretty fun. So I think I'll close out my set here. Maybe I'll just do a blues or something. Yeah, let's just do, this is one called Tenor Madness. Oh, there's Justin came back on. He's like, haha, thanks, Rob. There's a bunch of great bass players in town. There's like Justin Grinnell, who plays with Danny Green. Danny Green has a wonderful new release with singer Leonard Patton that just came out. And there's a guy named Mac Layton. You guys probably know all these people. But Mac's been doing these cool YouTube videos. In fact, the last one he did was about harmonics. So if you're a bass player or just want to kind of check out like what people are doing, all these guys are up to all sorts of wonderful things. And also good news, Sean Hickey, who lived here before and is uber talented, is moving back. He's been in Cincinnati, but he's coming back to San Diego. So that's like a real blessing. So let's just do, I'm trying to think, maybe I'll do Tenor Madness. I was trying to think of like a minor blues I could do. Let's do, this is called Turnaround. I've been like really in Dornette Coleman lately, so just. All, two, I guess I don't need to count up. So that I would dedicate to Charlie Hayden, who's one of my favorite all-time bass players. He played with Ornette Coleman. Ornette wrote that tune. That's called Turn Around. But yeah, I'll dedicate that to Mr. Charlie Hayden because I actually got to meet him. Such a gentleman. And there's a great movie that's on, I'm not sure what it's on, maybe Amazon Prime, called Ramblin' Boy, about his life, Charlie's life growing up. He had a total musical family. When he was 2 years old, he became known as the yodeling baby or something, and he could sing like country music and do a yodel when he was 2, and they actually have a film clip of him doing it, and it's so cute. And then he went on to become this incredible jazz musician. So go figure. But you always heard that Arkansas, you know, that kind of Appalachian roots in his playing. So super cool. Anyway, it's been I've had a great time. I love doing this. I can't, it should make me nervous or something being here just talking on a screen to a bunch of people, but I super enjoy it. Hi, Miss Angela, good to hear from you. She's like, I love it, hearts and everything. Hi, Tom Monet, your sister was also on here. I went to school with Tom's sister, Christine, at a little school called Midland up near in the mountains east of Santa Barbara, kind of near Los Olivos or Solvang. And it was an incredible experience. I just went there my last year of high school, but it was a great experience. I think maybe Tom went there too. Oh, and there's Natalie Schrick. Hey, Natalie. I'm just signing off. So I really appreciate everybody's support, and I'll be back next Sunday, Jazz with Rob at 7 p.m. I always forget, if people want to donate, they can. I have Venmo, and I always forget what my Venmo is, and I can't really look on my phone right now, but if you know it, you can donate a little bit, but whatever. I'm just here to kind of make music and keep our community alive. So thank you so much. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Deborah, everybody else out there. This was a wonderful time, and I hope to we'll connect with everybody online. I know we're still quarantined here, but there's more freedom right now. There's more, although I'm not jumping into anything. I'm being careful here. So stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you again for supporting this. Bye, Cecilia. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, everybody.